How did the band form, and what's the origin story?
Right, I guess I'm going to take over from this one
Yeah,
because
go for it.
literally what happened is I was home, bored, alone, and then I just wanted to make a band. So I just make a post on Facebook, literally asking for musicians in London, do you want to make a band? Adrian replied, a couple more people replied who are not in the band anymore as we swapped some members around. I met Andre at my workplace because he was working for this like food trader. He started to blast Black Sabbath. I spoke to him. Do you want to be our bassist? Because, well, we needed one. And then down the line, Oliver replied to a Facebook post. And then from watching another band live where Will was playing bass, he ended up telling us, hey, I love what you guys are doing. I'm actually a drummer. And we're like, hey, what a coincidence. We needed a drummer.
Because
So that
just
was
to be clear, because our drummer at the time had left the band, so we needed
yeah,
a drummer.
yeah, our drummer at that time just we're not going to give up like ex members' names, but they had to leave. All good, no bad blood. They left, and then we got Will. Oliver joined, and that was it. That's the five of us.
What are your musical backgrounds and influences? It's quite broad. Um, we all like different stuff. Whenever we do interviews, we tend to sort of mention the same set of bands. We're all pretty big Bleed from Within fans, but we've got like quite a bit of variety in that. I love Lorna Shore. George loves Trivium. Will loves like Iron Maiden and like more classic stuff, but he also loves a bit more of the sort of traditional metalcore. What's that one band he keeps talking about? Something
Uh,
Rogue.
he loves Raven Age, but funny enough, like he loves Iron Maiden and Raven Age. I think two members are sons from Iron Maiden members, so
Oh
like
shit, okay. I
it's
didn't
it's,
know that.
it's
Okay, fair enough.
basically the
It's
same.
educational for me. But yeah, so he likes a lot more of the classical stuff, but then he likes things like Killswitch Engage and All That Remains quite a lot as well. I think Adrian is a bit more melodic. Like he loves Bad Omens and loves Sleep
Yeah,
Token, that kind of
Adrian
stuff.
is into his full-on old classic metalcore.
But also the new stuff. He loves like the melodic stuff.
Yeah, Sleep Token is now his favorite band. Yeah,
Yeah, and then Andre, what does Andre like? He likes
Andre loves his stoner doom,
stoner,
stoner rock, stoner metal, doom
yeah,
metal.
he loves sleep, but then he also loves black metal. Like he'll just like he's got a Venom tattoo, which is
Yeah, and he's big into like Suicide Silence and stuff like that, which is
yeah.
random, but yeah.
I would say Andre probably has the weirdest music taste of the entire band, and he's not allowed to use the aux in the car or in the van when we drive. He's never allowed to put his tunes on. We've all been playing instruments for quite a while. You know, George and me are older than most of the people in the band.
Yeah, I think majority of every single band member was like mid to late teenager years that we all grabbed our instruments, or that
Yeah.
I guess Adrian had his first band as well. He said once that it was around when he was 16. I was 16 when I started to learn guitar. To be fair, I had a huge gap of not touching a single guitar for like 6 or 7 years when I moved to the UK because I was literally just working. But yeah, I think we all started in like late teenager years.
I start like my path is exactly the same as yours. I started when I was 15, and I stopped for 6 years while I was at university, and then I started again when I moved here. So it's a real, real journey that. How did you come up with the band name, George? Do you wanna take that one?
Oh, well, I'm one of those people that things need to like, first of all, sound cool. It needs to make sense. It can't just be random. For some reason in my head, and I think this is thanks to Meshuggah, because of one of their songs, I always had this thing in my head of using the word perpetual or like a constant motion of the same thing, like grinding. So I was like, we need to play with the words perpetual or constant. And then Adrian came up with a concept of like the whole paradox thing. And I was like, well, there you go. That's our double P. That's our perpetual paradox. And as soon as both me and Adrian kind of like hit with this, we were like, this is it. Like this is the name. It's a bit of a tongue twister, not too much, a
Say
little
that,
bit.
say that 3 times fast.
Um,
Say that 3 times in front of a mirror, and George will appear behind you and make
and
you.
but that's literally it. Like I was fixated in this perpetual word, and Adrian was fixated on paradox stuff. So we were like, well, there you go. That's literally it.
What has been the biggest challenge you've overcome as a band? I think I can sort of answer that one. I think it's been trying to carve out a niche in a highly saturated metal market. There's a lot of incredibly good bands in London and in the UK, but also a lot of massive bands come touring through, Europe and the UK. So it's really, really hard to carve out a bit of a niche, bit of a market for yourself because people here are spoiled for choice. They can go to any local show they want, but then they can also go see stacked lineups for like 25 quid of like their favorite bands from the US or whatever. So like, this isn't to say that we've got some massive fan base. We don't, not yet at least, but we've definitely noticed an uptake in the size and the sort of quality, for lack of a better term, of the shows that we're getting, and also the number of people who show up to them without us having to be like, yo, please come to our show. Like that balance is slowly shifting, and I think that's been the hardest challenge. And I say that because everything else you do as a band falls under that challenge. Writing the songs and marketing yourself and making sure you're pre-saved on Spotify and all that crap is all like, and your EPK and management, all that crap. Everything that you need to do as a band falls under that umbrella of like, okay, now people are actually coming to our shows. And that's been the biggest overall challenge, just making sure people, don't just see us as another local band who's going to die out, but actually quite a serious unit at this point. How would you describe your sound and musical style?
Right. I mean, this is in a good way. This is like the tricky one for us.
Yeah.
And to start with, the five of us, as we previously mentioned, like we are into very different things. We have some bands in common, like we have some styles in common, but we all like have this favorite thing which is quite different from each other, right? It could be from thrash to metalcore to deathcore to Andre's doom metal. And then we try to, as much as possible, get it all mixed in. I think the idea here was to like, try. It's very hard nowadays to be unique, right? And every time we think nothing else can be created and nothing else is going to be new, every year something comes up and it's just like, hey, a different subgenre. Like, we're not really trying to achieve a new subgenre. If it happens, then we'll be happy with. But like, we mix the metalcore with the thrash, with the technicality of like extreme death, with Adrian's love of like poppy choruses, or Will loving his like heavy metal 80s like drum beats.
A lot of variety in there.
Yeah, a lot of everything mixed in. Like, imagine all our biggest influences mashed it into a soup. Probably when you eventually listen to the album when it drops, every single song you can relate to so many different bands, a little bit of everything. Like,
what was it? One of our friends said that none of the songs sound like they've been written by the same person, but it's all very obviously Perpetual Paradox. Like, I can't remember who it was that said that, but one of our friends, a good friend who we've shown the album to, she was like, every song sounds so different, yet it's immediately obvious that it's Perpetual.
Yeah, there's a connection, but we definitely like showed our influences in every single track. I think, especially us, like guitarists, we will always have this thing about like, oh, let's make a riff like, I don't know, like Lamb of God. Let's make a riff like Gojira. Let's make a riff like Silosis. Or between me and Oliver, we fucking love Bleed From Within. So we're like, oh, these guys are such a big influence for us now.
Goats.
So let's mix that up. And then once you get Gojira, Bleed From Within, Trivium, and Machine Head in the same room, it's like, well, there you go. This is what you get. Like, we're trying to do this.
Yeah, it's a lot of variety mashed into one little album. What is your songwriting process like? I can go through that quick. When we first started the band, I think George and Adrian had a couple of songs written, and so I'm not sure. I think the process has changed a lot since then. But these days, generally, George and I, because we all work full time, we've got busy schedules, and George is involved in a couple of projects, and I've got some other bands, and everyone else is busy. So it's not always easy for us to meet up and just write. Like, most of the time we spend together, we're either gigging or rehearsing for shows, right? So at the moment, the most efficient way we found is George and I primarily will write riffs at home. We're big advocates of Guitar Pro. It just makes life a lot easier, because if I write a riff, I can record it and show it to George, but then he has to sit and figure it out in the fucking video, and I have to slow it down, and it's quicker for me just to tab it out, because then I also have it. Like I have it on my computer. There's no doubt about what to play. George can learn it, or vice versa. So anyway, come up with some riffs. Me personally, I tend to like building complete songs in Guitar Pro. I'll program some basic drums. I'll send them to Adrian, and he runs them through I'm not sure what it's called, like a MIDI realistic sound engine.
Yeah, it's like this. It translates all the media to like Garage.
Yeah, exactly.
Guitar
So it
Pro,
turns
sorry, Guitar Pro to like.
yeah, so it turns into like a really raw demo. Like it's obviously computer generated, but it's just a demo. And then I'll send it to Will, who will like put his drums to it. Andre will work out his bass, and then we'll meet up. We'll go a few times. Often we'll have when we do find time to do it, we'll have like little sort of arrangement sessions where we'll sit together and we'll like look at the song as it is in this sort of rough demo form, and then we'll piece bits and pieces together. We'll move things. We'll change this. We'll change that, and then eventually we'll record a proper demo. Obviously, we don't do real drums because we live in London. We're not going to, set up a drum studio just for demos. So we'll program some drums as a demo, and then we'll record guitars and bass and vocals over that. And then that goes to, when it comes time to record, we'll send it to our engineer. Shout out Marvin, Tide Studios. And then that's basically it. That's not the process every single time, but that's just the general way that we found to be most efficient and get most done in as least time as possible. I think a lot of bands probably work differently. Or maybe they don't. I haven't asked, but this is what we found that works most straightforward.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah. Where do you draw inspiration for your lyrics and music?
Well, funny enough, as much as Adrian is not part of this interview, because this is kind of like related to lyrics. I don't know if, Oliver, probably you want to say how do you come up with your stuff, but like when I write a riff, for some whatever reason, I name my compositions, I name my riff, and the riff will always give me some sort of like theme or vibe, and I'm like, okay, this is about, I don't know, death, or this is about politics, or this is about whatever, and then I'll name it with a genuine feeling of like the emotion I'm getting out of it. And then when we send our stuff to Adrian, it normally has a name. And Adrian has this thing of
I think we're one of the few bands that comes up with the titles of the song before anything else has been written.
So Adrian, it's just one of those guys that he will be happy to, like, he receives a riff or he receives like a song we're trying to come up with, and he goes, "Oh, is that the name? Cool. I will work the lyrics with what you guys just sent me." So whatever it is in the wording of the title track, he's going to work around it because he loves the challenge of writing about what we think it's about. And to be fair, 90% of the time, the lyrics are always like this. Yeah. Especially when we write something and we're like, I want this song to be called this because this is a song about whatever. And then Adrian is going to like, cool, I'm going to write about that. And so far, it's really how we've been working. We name shit, and then Adrian writes about them. There's always a connection. It's not random, but there's always a connection.
We're not wrong. It's fine. The name of the album, Deathwish, is actually something I came up with, like, I don't know, like almost a year ago. And I was watching some skateboard videos, and I used to be a skate. I don't skate anymore. I'm too old. But I used to do quite a lot of skateboarding when I was a kid, and I still watched like skateboard tapes. And one of the teams I was watching was Deathwish skateboards, and I just thought Deathwish sounded really cool. But then, like George describes, we sort of reversed that process. We were like, okay, we've got a really cool name. Now we have to tie it to something that we want to like sing about or talk about or write songs about. So I feel like our inspiration is probably completely different to what most bands do. Don't really know if it's an effective approach, but it's gotten us this far. So it's unique. What song are you most proud of and why, George? Do you want to do one?
I'm going to name two because, I mean, the album is something that the five of us, helped recording, composing, the whole process, really. We do work as a band. As much as we make a riff and then it gets taken from there, it is the work of the five of us. I'm really proud of two different songs. One of them was pretty much composed by Oliver, and it's my personal favorite one of the album. Forgiveness is a Weakness. It is at the moment my favorite thing, not just from listening, but like playing. I think it's sick when you play it live. And then my second favorite one is probably Backbone of Existence, because I'm a big fan of like dragging, slow breakdowns and riffs, and it is probably our filthiest breakdown so far.
Yeah, it's
And I
pretty annoying.
love a good breakdown. So I'm very proud of what we achieved, not just because of the guitar writing, but because of what Adrian achieved with his vocals, singing over that breakdown. It
Yeah,
just makes it nasty, and
yeah,
I
it's
fucking love that.
pretty awesome. I think for me, I'll probably have to say Deathwish, which is the title track of the album, because I wrote that song, and it was my attempt at doing like an homage to Lorna Shore. Like obviously, completely different sort of individuals, so I'll never be able to like emulate them, their sound completely. But I took a lot of inspiration from the Pain Remains album for that song, and then added my own twist to it with like quite a lot of cleans and like some cool sort of Arabic sounding scale stuff in the middle. And then this kind of like chuggy but also mad string skipping riff at the end of the song. You'll probably see what I mean when you hear it, but I think that was the one that challenged me the most, and that's probably the one I'm most proud of. Are there any artists you would love to collaborate with? Bleed from within, please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most likely.
that
I
would be
mean, as
awesome.
much as I am a guitarist, I think I've got this not dream, but like this thing of having like a really cool featured like singer. I would have to say with what we are achieving at the moment and what Adrian capabilities are, I think it would be really sick if I mean this is the sky's the limit, but Joe Duplantier from Gojira, if he could provide his vocals to one of our tracks, thank you.
That'd be sick. Yeah, at a more local level, we're quite good friends with Acadian, who are a sick band from Cambridge, and I'd love to do like a collab track with them in some way. I'm not sure how that would come out because our styles are quite different actually, but they're really popping off as well, and they deserve it. They work really hard. So I'd love to do like some sort of collaboration track with them. I don't know how that would look, but I think that'd be kind of fun. What's your favorite part about touring, George?
My favorite part about touring, as much as I love playing live, I think my favorite part about touring is the fact that we would just go to countries like I've never been. We've done our first European tour 2 years ago, and as much as I love playing, I think I got overexcited with going to countries I've never been, like literally like Germany, Luxembourg, Belgium, Netherlands. For me, every single country was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna go to countries I've never been before. I love traveling. It's probably one of the biggest excitements I have is to go somewhere for the first time. And the reality is that you go and you think, hey, I'm going to try local food. Nah, you have no time. It's always McDonald's. It's always KFC. It's always
Or
Burger King.
diet.
To be fair, we had a day off in Germany, and I had the most beautiful, like traditional German food at like a brew house, and I had like a really beautiful schnitzel. I'm a big foodie, so when we tour, on top of obviously enjoying the live shows and supporting other bands, and meet other artists and the whole community behind being in another country and being on stage with other bands is the fact that I love eating. So that's me.
Do you have any memorable tour stories you can share? Right. I'm going to share what I think is probably our wildest turnaround ever on a tour. We were doing our headline tour last year for the Condemnation EP, and there was a mix-up between the venue for the last show, which was in London, and our manager. And it turns out the venue just didn't exist anymore. And so the band we were touring with, via Torum, they got to the venue before us, and they messaged us being like, "Yo, this venue's closed for good." And that was, I think
That was hours before the
that was like
gig.
4 hours before loading. And we were like, "Okay, this sucks," because we had like 100 people who said they were like who had bought tickets and stuff, and like it was going to be the biggest show of the tour because obviously we're from London, so there was a lot of people who were coming. So we had 4 hours to find a new venue, sort of a new backline, and inform everyone that the venue had changed. So we managed to set up the Camden Eye in Camden as a backup. We borrowed a spare drum kit from the dev. the bassist from Viatorum, he was impromptu sound guy for the night. And then we just spammed people online with the venue change. We sent out emails, all our socials, everything. We sent out obviously WhatsApps and stuff, and we managed to make it a massive show. It was I think we sold it out.
It was one of the coolest things we've like one of the coolest shows we played, but it was probably one of the most stressful days of our lives. It was weird.
God, because I was in Reading that day dropping off the van, so I had to come back from Reading, go home, get my shit, and then go to the new venue. So it was pretty incredible. But yeah, so I think that's probably the most memorable tour story. How do you prepare for a live show? I think we just stretch and have a few beers, don't we?
Yeah, I mean,
by a few, I mean a lot.
A couple of beers. I mean, stretching is a bit relative. It depends. Like when we're touring and we've just played a previous night, we'll just like physically stretch, but we don't. We're not one of those bands yet that just does the whole like 1 hour warm up before a set. Like we're so prepared that we do a few stretches. We probably grab our instruments and we go over it for like a few minutes, and then and then we're ready. But I think that's pretty much it. We love to hang around with each other and then just be with the fans, we hang out with like the promoter, organizers, other bands, and until the last minute of we got to go on stage, we will probably just be hanging out with other people and just, sharing love and just having some beers and getting ready like that.
Yeah, emphasis on the beers. I love a couple of pre-show pints.
Yeah, we're not waiting for a beer endorsement, by the way, but
definitely, please, Heineken. What can fans expect from our live performances? Hopefully you like the new songs. We've prepared a whole new light show. We've got a new banner. We've got a new look, if you want to call it that. We've got a new everything. Obviously new songs, like I said. We're a tighter unit now. We've been practicing it a lot more than we have in the past. Not that we haven't practiced in the past, but we're very tight these days. And we've got some cool like crowd moments as well. So I think
a lot of energy. As much as we're trying to aim for this kind of like a balance between technicality meets groove, energy, mosh around, whatever you want to call it, when the crowd goes crazy. Like that's literally what you can expect. Like we love having the crowd to participate. We really feed on crowd energy. We're one of those bands that like the more the crowd enjoys, the more we're happy to do what we love. So it's literally what it is.
Yeah, I love looking down and just people are safely kicking the shit out of each other. Obviously don't hurt each other, but you know what I mean? Like people going nuts. Like that's a beautiful sight. What is your relationship with your fans like? Pretty comfortable, I guess.
Yeah, we're all super friendly. I think to be fair, this is a bit of it's a hard question to like answer to, because obviously certain bands, I guess the more popular they get or the more famous they get, it's kind of hard to like get into the stage of like you go and hang out with your fans. I don't know how really that works when you get to a certain level, because I mean we're still technically nobodies, and as soon as we finish a gig, we wrap it up, we clean our stuff, we go to the merch table, and we just want to like be with the fans as much as possible. We just want to like talk to them. We love that. We love hearing feedback, so we love talking to the crowd because we want to get the feedback. We want to make friends. We want to make sure that, first of all, we want to make sure that the fans come back. The fans come to the next show. The fans loved us, and not because of who we are per se, but just like they enjoy the show. We're friendly with them, and we just love this relationship where like we want to keep it as family as possible. Like we want to have these fans that they relate to the band, not just because of playing what we play, but they relate in a certain way with the music we make, or the lyrics, or the energy, or even just like mosh pitting. I don't know, whatever it is that connects them to us. We want to keep that relationship every time we play.
Yeah.
And keep the same level with everybody. We want to give the exact same attention to all the fans that we make.
I fucking love chatting to fans. Someone will come up and I'll be like, I was sick, or first time seeing you, or third time seeing you, or you guys, you you absolutely shred or something like some nice. It's always that's what happened at Face Down. Someone came up to me and was like, "Dude, you shred." I was like, "Hell yeah, bro." Um, but yeah, it's really nice when fans just like come up and say hi. You want a picture, or just ask for like a set list or whatever. And there's no, we wouldn't really be playing shows if people didn't come to them. So we fucking love everyone who gives a crap
Yeah.
about us.
I think it also makes us feel good about what we do musically and as we are as people, just because let's face it, it's the truth. Like, the human interaction of after a gig, if someone comes up to you and they're like, "Oh, you guys are sick. I've been listening to you since, I don't know, since Condemnation. And, that's why I'm here today." Like, that makes us feel like, oh my God, like that's awesome. Like, you're here because you've liked our stuff in the past. And now you want to hear more. And
Yeah.
that's the most important thing for us, is to get that relationship where like this is a true fan. And regardless of just being like a random person who just walked in or someone who's been following us since the first EP, don't listen to the first EP, by the way.
Skip that.
But what I mean is like we love that relationship where every single person gives their little bit to us and it makes us keep going. This is pretty much like, I believe it's what every single band says, but it's the truth. Like, it makes us happy that the crowd is happy.
Hell yeah. Would you ever consider performing at Novacaine Festival, and what are your thoughts on this year's lineup? Hell yeah, we would if we get.
Yeah, I think it's sick. I mean, I want us to get us in for this year, and we were too late.
We'd love to play. The lineup is crazy. I'm looking at it right now. We've got the 500, Bleed Again, Night Thieves.
I love 500,
Broken
by the way.
Empire,
I've been listening to them quite a lot
Ocean
recently.
Thieves. Yeah, we'd fuck yeah, we'd love to play Novacaine Festival.
So, Novacaine, if you want us next year,
Yeah.
just give us a shout.
I've played at Cork and Sheffield once before, when I was on tour with Pupil Slicer, and it's such a sick venue as well. It'd be really, really cool to come back there. What are your goals for the band in the next year? Keep smashing it.
Festivals!
What?
Festivals! A lot of
Yeah.
festivals.
Lots of festivals. I mean, we'll take any slot at this point. We'll take the fucking 9 in the morning slot. Like, we just want to get out there. We want to play more shows, more support slots, like really cool support slots. We want to start writing for possibly an EP next year. We're not sure yet. We just want to finally go and like show everyone what we can do. I think that's the goal for the year, and just ride the wave of the album once it's out. Are there any new projects or releases in the works? I mean, nothing concrete right now. We're very close.
We're literally just dropping a new album, first full-length album. So
yeah, we've
definitely, as soon as it drops, we are already polishing some upcoming riffs. But yeah,
I think we've vaguely talked about dropping a 3 or 4 song EP right before like festival season next year, but that's to be confirmed. I think we need to focus on this release for now. It's coming out so the next single is out in 10 days, and then the album itself is out in, holy shit, 17 days. Wow. Yeah, so that's what we're focusing on for now. Where do you see the band in 5 years? I mean, if things keep going the way they have been for the last 3 years, I see us doing pretty cool things, to be honest. We sort of, like, the band officially started playing shows in 2021, but we didn't really land on a full lineup until like the second half of 2022.
Yeah.
So we've only really been going for 3.5 years, and in that time we've gone from playing, a few small sort of like pub shows here and there to, like we played Face Down the other day. We supported Crypta at the Underworld. We were doing the massive Echelon versus Acadian show in Cambridge. We're supporting Carnivore AD. So like this sounds like I'm bragging. I'm not bragging. My point is that things have gone quite well in quite a short amount of time.
Yeah, 5 years is quite of a good amount of time, to be fair. I mean, if in the last 3, this is what we've done, we're talking about almost double of what we've achieved so far in years. So it's hard to pinpoint, honestly, in 5 years. If we play like, I don't know, download at 6 p.m., I think I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I think if we keep going at this rate for the next 5 years, I see us occupying decent slots on some festivals. I mean, we're not under any any illusion that we're going to headline any major festival, but I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to, occupy a nice slot of download at Bloodstock or Hellfest, that kind of thing. I see us probably supporting, again, not like Slipknot or anything like that, but bands that are bigger than us. I wouldn't be surprised if we'd be able to go on some support runs with bands like that in the next 5 years. What advice would you give to aspiring musicians? Practice until your fingers bleed. You can never practice too much. There's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of leeway when it comes to cutting corners, but a tight band is a tight band. I think the best example I can think of in the UK metal scene right now is Apathy. They're a band from Plymouth. They're actually playing at a release show at the Black Art. They're all like 19, 20 years old, and they are probably some of the tightest musicians I've seen in my life. So that I think, and now they've been invited back to play Bloodstock again, and they're only 19. They're crazy good. So I think
they're really good.
Yeah, they're really, really good. So hard work and practice and like commitment, and just block out the noise and just stay in your own lane.
Yeah, I think the 99% of aspiring musicians, whoever you are, try and master your own instrument as much as possible, but never forget that you live in a world where technology is your friend. Being charismatic helps. You got to
network.
Yeah, a lot of network. Make sure you follow what's happening. You don't have to copy it, but just be wary of like what are other people doing. Yeah. It really helps. You don't have to copy them. You don't have to be the next Bring Me the Horizon as an example. Like, you don't have to be the next same thing that already exists, but master your instrument, be wary, be charismatic, find what defines you. Like Sleep Token, I don't know, for example, they have masks and makeup. Other bands have like some sort of like gimmicky on stage. You might find your own thing. Like, it might not even be your instrument, but like master your instrument first and then find yourself.
There's going to be, once you start like popping off a little bit, there's going to be a lot, or if, who knows how things will go, but if you start popping off, there's going to be a lot of people who suddenly show their true colors. There's a lot of egos, and it's just, those people, their views and opinions don't really matter. So just try not to let it get to you. The people,
always be yourself. I think end of the day that's it. Yeah, be yourself.
The people you should care about are the ones who care about you, basically. So there's gonna be a lot of people who just want to bring you down because they're jealous. Just fuck them, like ignore them.
Oh, and a last minute advice on aspiring musicians: please stop having this thing about I want to make a band of this style. Don't think like that. Just come up with a riff. Just come up with a drum beat. Don't just sit and be like, I want to do thrash, or I want to do metalcore, or I want to do. Just don't think like that. Just fucking play.
And right then from the heart, man.
Yeah, whatever comes out, it will be a genre. It will be something. Just don't box yourself. That's the thing.
Personal insights. What is the most important thing you've learned as a musician? For me, just again, like I said before, there's no such thing as too much practice. You can always learn something new. You can always keep your skills up to speed. It's also there is a fucking mountain of equipment out there that you could be using, or like you could learn about, and it's a real what do you call it? It's a steep learning curve. So patience is the main thing. Just take it slow. Like you're not going to be the next guitar or drum god overnight, but you can be if you're patient.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the main thing I've learned. How has the music industry changed since you started?
Oh wow, a lot. I mean, I'm old. I'm 34, so
yeah, fucking hell,
I was born in 1990, and I'm not that old, but like I've seen the whole situation where we went from like vinyl records, from VHS to cassette tapes, and then to CDs, then to DVDs, then to illegally stream. Now there's a legal, platform, like music platforms. Like I've literally went through like the whole thing where how can you listen to music? Do I buy CDs? Do I just stream? Do I pay for I don't know. Like even technology wise has helped us a lot. I mean, I even ourselves, we were a band that had amplifiers and cabs. Then now we got muddlers. now we realize that maybe cabs are like a thing
Now we're going
still.
back to cabs.
So it's really hard because technology since the early 2000s, every single day there's literally a new thing. And now with AI, I don't know. It's just hard.
Yeah, and I think the requirements to be a successful musician these days have changed a lot. There was a time where you could literally just like put on a show and, you know, that was it. You were set for life. Now you've got to master not only your own performances, but songwriting, how you distribute your music, the videos that you make for that music, your social media content, your network. Um, you need to. It's not just enough to be a musician anymore in the music industry. There's a lot more like there's a lot. How can I explain this? There's a lot more ways to succeed, but there's also a lot of people involved now who the barrier to entry has reduced quite a lot. So the competition is fierce, and you know, healthy competition is good. Good competition, sorry, healthy competition is not a bad thing, but overall, there's just more people wanting the same slice of that pie. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just there's just a lot of people working towards the same goal. What do you enjoy doing when you're not making or playing music? We like going out for beers as a band. Um, I like going to the gym. I like going out with my mates, seeing my family, seeing my girlfriend. I think you're you're probably the same, George. I mean, we've all got full-time jobs.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I think the main thing that the five of us, I don't know if this is a cliche or not with other bands and whatever, but we are really one of those bands that like family comes first. As much as we want to be the next big thing, family comes first. For all five members, we're very like this. It doesn't matter if it's our mom or dad or both or sisters, brothers, cousins, whatever. We're very family first. And obviously we always try to find time with the band as the band, but we're very family people. We love going out. We love having a bit of a, bit of a drink, some food, socialize, meet other people. We love going out to other gigs and just like network and then
yeah.
meet up with other bands.
But I think we're also pretty good at hanging out with each other. Like we'll often go out to like the Black Heart or whatever's going on in London.
Yeah, we're also one of those bands that like because we love to hang out with each other. We are one of those bands that there's not really like a moment where I don't know if there's something kind of like wrong or an issue or someone's moody, we just like fix it straight away, and then once we just do that, and then we just move on.
Fix it by going out and getting lashed.
Basically, I think people are going to start thinking that we're big alcoholics. But this is in honor of Dave Mustaine. If Dave Mustaine, if you hear this conversation,
This is for you, bro.
this is for you. We're trying to drink as much beer as you used.
What message do you want to share with the audience? Just thank you, I guess.
Basically, just thank
Yeah.
you
Thank you for listening to our crap. Thank you for coming to our show. Thank you
everything
for buying our
and for
merch.
what's to come.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time to check this interview out. Yeah, this is the biggest cliche in any interview, but you know, obviously, we couldn't do any of this without people liking what we do, coming to our shows. So, thank you. That's all we can say, I think. And yeah, and just keep coming up to shows, keep supporting your local scene, keep going to shows, keep this shit going.